Today we're going to talk about safely lifting and moving objects while applying our ACIT manual handling principles. We're also going to demonstrate some different postures you could consider when lifting and when reaching into and sorting from crates. First off, let's assess our environment. So we need to be really aware of our surroundings and what's around us. So obstructions, tight spaces, objects that could get in our way, even people, so our teammates and customers. Being aware of your environment that's constantly changing can often prevent accidents from happening. We also need to assess our own confidence and ability to perform the moves. It's okay to stop and ask for help if you think it isn't safe for you to do alone. All of our abilities are different, so don't push past your limitations. We should also assess the object that we're going to be handling. So whether it's a piece of furniture or something smaller like this crate here, we need to look at things like the size, the weight of the object, how we're going to grip it. In this example here, we could give the crate a light touch with our foot to get an idea of the weight, or we could come in for a test lift, so getting into position and applying a bit of pressure to see how heavy that may be. If the object's too heavy for us to lift, then we need to find a safer solution. So whether it's getting a piece of equipment like a trolley that's fit for the task to move that object, or seeing if we can make the object lighter, so breaking it down into smaller, more manageable loads. Like with this crate, we could take some items out of the crate and do a few more trips, or maybe even asking another team member to give us a hand in doing a team lift. We also need to be really aware of what height we are handling heavier objects, so we should avoid lifting them above our shoulder height and below our knee height. We should aim to handle them around our hip to waist height so that we're in a stronger position and a safer posture to protect things like our shoulders and our back. So please think before you pop that heavy object on the top shelf above your shoulder height, or on that bottom shelf closer to the ground if you're going to have to move that later. We touched on communicate and equipment in our foundation unit, but I'm going to emphasize two things here. Having clear communication with your customers and your teammates, especially with things like team lifts, making sure everyone knows who's doing what, they're ready for the lift, and using those verbal cues like ready, set, lift, so everyone's in sync. And with the equipment, making sure it's safe to use and you've selected the right equipment for the job. Now we're going to apply our ABCD principles to lifting. So we've placed a couple of different objects on the ground here to show how your technique may change depending on the size, the weight and the position of the object. And as always, it's really important that you're not pushing past your limits. So with this crate, I'm going to use a squat position because it's low to the ground and it's a little heavier. So I want to activate my core, my glutes and my leg muscles, and I want to keep a neutral spine position, feet apart in a nice balanced position, close to the object, and I'm going to be facing it. I don't want to twist. So like so, keeping it nice and close the whole way up. So I'm in a nice strong position. Here are some other examples. So a lunge or semi-lunge position and a kneel. We can also use a golfer's lunge. Now for this one, it's great for objects that are light and if they're lower to the ground, we've got something nice and stable to hold on to. And you've got to have good balance for this one. So swinging your leg back to counterbalance and take the pressure off your back. There's a few things we can do to look after ourselves when we're sorting from crates as well. So first off, let's look at this crate. We've got the side up here and we should drop it down so that we're not stooping and rounding our back to reach into it, and we're not overreaching as well. It's really important that when we're moving objects around that we're not twisting as well. We need to have really good footwork and we need to be moving our feet as much as possible to make sure we're not keeping our feet still like they're stuck in concrete and twisting with our upper bodies. We want to avoid that. So if I was to lift something from this crate here, I want to turn my feet around. I'm going to place it into a trolley. We can also use that golfer's lunge when reaching into crates, like we showed you earlier, to grab lighter things towards the back of the crate. So like so. So we're not having to overstretch. At some Lifeline sites we have grabbers and rakes as well that we can use to bring things closer to the front of the crate. Thanks for watching, and please remember that doing simple things like maintaining good postures throughout the day and minimizing heavy and repetitive lifting all helps to keep you healthy and injury free. Take care.